country, which is urban sprawl. And our group members are Akin Spellit, Kelly Sir James, Ashmi Bridgman, and myself, Kerry James. What is urban sprawl? Urban sprawl is the uncontrolled expansion of cities into nearby, rural, or undeveloped areas. It often results in land misuse, pollution, and infrastructure challenges. So what this is saying, urban sprawl, when a city spreads out into nearby or rural areas. For example, in Diamond, Echoes, or Commons Lodge starts turning into big housing areas. I will now hand you over to Ms. Ashmi Bridgman, who will take you through the causes of urban sprawl.
There are many causes of urban sprawl, and today we'll be looking at population growth, desire for lifestyle changes, and housing demand. As you can see here, population growth. As populations in the urban area rise, more services and housing are needed. For example, in Guyana, more families move to East Coast because new schemes are built to expand outcomes. Next, we have lifestyle preferences. Many people prefer bigger homes, private yard, and quieter neighborhoods. In Guyana, new housing schemes are developed in places like Providence and Great Diamond. Housing demand. The need for cheap housing pushes development toward the outskirts of cities where land is less expensive and more available. Like for example, here in Echoes and Providence, right? They offer a large house lot. People won't go for that, but more than the central Georgetown. I will now hand over to my next colleague, Kelly Sir James, and she will be doing the consequences of urban sprawl.
I will be taking you through the consequences of urban sprawl. So the first one we have is increased pollution. More vehicles and building activities causes dirty air and noise. For example, traffic on the East Bank creates heavy exhaust fumes. The second one we have is destruction of farmland and natural areas. So, new housing schemes replace farmland and vegetation. For example, farmlands and Providence were cleared for housing and malls. We also have increased public expenditure. Government must spend more to extend roads, water, and electricity. For example, housing at Echoes requires costly new roads and drainage. I'll now hand you over to Miss Kerry. She will take you through the solutions.
Let's look at some ways we can deal with urban sprawl. First, we have here implement smart growth policies. So smart growth policy means planning the town properly so we can use land wisely. Instead of spreading out everywhere, we build in organized areas and make sure homes, shops, and services are close together. For example, we could build apartments so more people can live in one space. For second example, we have creating planned communities, like the new housing area in Providence, where schools, shops, and homes are placed together, so people don't have to travel far away. Here is establish green belts and protected areas. So green belts are areas that the government protects so no one can build on the area. So this helps the city from spreading too much and keep natural space. For example, in Guyana, protecting mangroves, farmlands, and low-lying wetlands helps prevent uncontrolled expansion. We also have invest in public transportation and active transit. So this is saying improving public transport helps reduce traffic and makes it easier and stops people from spreading too far away. For example, we could introduce reliable bus routes and create a safe walkways and bicycle lanes so people can walk or take short distances instead of driving. To summarize, we would have learned what is urban sprawl, which is the uncontrolled expansion of cities into nearby rural or undeveloped areas. Also, we would have said the causes of urban sprawl, which is population growth, lifestyle preferences, and housing demands. We also touch on some consequences of urban sprawl, which is increased pollution, destruction of farmland and natural areas, and increased public expenditure. We also have some solutions to urban sprawl, such as implementing smart growth policies, establishing green belts and protected areas, and invest in public transportation and active transit. In conclusion, urban sprawl is when our city or town keeps spreading out and causes problems like traffic, pollution, and loss of land. But if we plan better, protect green areas, and improve transportation, we can control it. By using land wisely, Guyana can grow in a more organized and healthy way.